the bowl that never fills. I've come with great hope, O king, the Aghori said. Can your majesty grant my wish? Say what you seek, the king replied. I've plenty for charity. Just this bowl I need filled. The Aghori extended his bowl. That's all? The social affairs minister could have done that. Are you mocking royalty? Just the alms bowl? I'm offended. Bhadraghosha, the king, had a point for his philanthropy, was as acclaimed as his opulence. He ruled a vast empire, and for an ascetic smeared in ash to approach him, for a mere bowlful of alms, was a waste of his time, at least in the king's eyes. You speak right, but in haste, Maharaj, the Aghori said. No one has ever been able to fill this bowl to the brim. Maybe your majesty is different. The fearlessness, why, even derisiveness in the Aghori's voice and his piercing gaze piqued Bhadraghosha's curiosity. Had anyone else spoken to him like this, he would have had him thrown out, but this ascetic seemed different. He clapped and summoned his treasurer and ordered him to fill the bowl with jewels. Not so soon, Maharaj, the Aghori said. I will only hand over my bowl on one condition. Say, if your majesty is unable to fill it, thou shalt abdicate thy throne for me. And what if I succeeded? The Maharaj asked. I shall shave my matted locks, become your slave, and sing your glories from the rest of my life. Truth be told, I shall take you as my guru, the Aghori said. The bowl was handed to the treasurer, who filled it with jewels in no time. I don't understand what the fuss was about, Bhadraghosha said. It's already full. See again, Maharaj, the Aghori said. The bowl was empty. Another attempt was made to fill it. But just a few moments later, it was empty again. They tried filling it with grains, beans, gold, milk, water, silk, with every physical object they could get their hands on, even pebbles and stones, but all in vain. The king and the courtiers began to sweat. They could almost visualize the Aghori's ascension to the throne. Forgive me, O mysterious one, the king said, falling at his feet. Are you Shiva? Who are you? I'm just a simple ascetic Maharaj, the Aghori said, raising the king. You don't belong at my feet, but at the throne. Enlighten me, please. What's so special about this bowl? It is made from a human skull. No matter how much you put in, it's never satiated beyond a few moments. It always wants more. Even when it's full, it looks empty. This fall appearance of emptiness is very dangerous, Maharaj. It makes men go around in circles until their last breath, chasing one thing after another, but this skull is never content. Millions of thoughts enter in it, and yet it continues to maintain the illusion of emptiness. The ceaseless flow of thoughts and desires in our mind, the incessant trickle of feelings in our consciousness, spilling over our very being, is the root of human restlessness and discontent. We fulfill one desire, and before we can enjoy the fruits of it, more often than not, we feel impelled to work towards another. As long as mind isn't trained to be still, it can be content. And contentment isn't always a feeling, or a lack of it doesn't mean one is greedy. Sometimes, in fact, mostly, discontentment is merely the brain yakking away like a little child who's talking to himself, the kind who has just learned to form phrases and sentences. These are the thoughts in our skull. What is even more fascinating is how an unchecked thought continues to build up and takes up all the space in our consciousness, like a tiny bubble rising from the bottom of a pond to its surface, and as it continues its journey to the top, it keeps on growing. This bubble floats on the water for a wee bit and then it bursts. A discursive thought, between its emergence and popping, can turn you into Satan from Socrates, triggering the restive tendencies of the mind. Indeed, I say the most powerful aspect of human existence is a thought. Our ability to think makes us who we are, and in the same vein, our inability to not think at will makes us slaves to our thoughts. Example, you're trying to sleep, but the mind won't stop babbling. You want to rest, but it's in overdrive mode. The difference between a good and great meditator isn't just the stillness of the mind or superior one pointed concentration, but it is mindfulness. I have been harping on about mindfulness for a few years now. Currently, however, I'm using this term in different context. That is, the art of not paying attention to your mind's chatter. It's a highly rewarding skill to master, to be able to ignore the thoughts in your brain. For no matter how grave something may appear in the present moment, once the mind calms down, the same issue begins to feel less significant. What seemed like a life and death situation last night can feel remarkably pointless, even funny in the morning, particularly after a good night's sleep and a nutritious breakfast. Ever seen a hen hatch its eggs? It sits on them for days. Several times during the day, it'll come and sit on its eggs, giving them warmth and protection. This gesture keeps the eggs alive, and one day tiny chicks pop out. The hen falls in love with her chicks and is possessive about them. She gets attached to the eggs, now chicks, she once laid and protected. This is exactly what happens to any thought we don't let go. At first, it's inside us where we let it develop. One day, it takes a tangible form and we are forced to face it. If you sit on it, you keep it alive, and one day it hatches, and by this time, one is so invested in this thought that it feels right to hold on to chase it. That becomes the way of the mind then. A pessimist becomes a chronic worrier, an optimist overconfident. Passion becomes an obsession, and obsession a disorder. Mindfulness keeps the flow of thoughts in check. It makes you aware of what you are dwelling on. Best of all, it gives you the ability to shift your attention at will. Mullah Nasruddin was selling eggs when a customer came and started checking them out. He's hold on egg in his palm, feel the texture of it, and then put it back. Sometimes he would bring it to his nose and try to smell it. Other times he'd give it a little shake. Are these eggs fresh? The customer said, finally seeming to be making up his mind. I wouldn't know, sir, Mullah replied. I don't lay them, I only sell them. The human mind doesn't know the nature of a thought. It doesn't know whether it's good or bad, right or wrong, fresh or stale. We give it those labels based on our conditioning and understanding. If you don't sit on a thought, it will never hatch. And if it doesn't hatch, you have one less attachment, one thing less to worry about. There is no wisdom in supplying an undesirable thought with food of attention and deliberation, or keep filling your skull with thoughts. It's a bowl that never fills. Let go, shift your attention, invest your energies in something creative and meaningful. No eggs, no chicks. This is what I wanted to share with you all, masters. Found it very interesting. It's about observing the mind's chatter and not entertaining the mind's chatter. So, mindfulness, as per the author here, is not giving attention to the mind's chatter. Beautifully put. Anyone would like to share your experience or your perspective? Please feel free to unmute, masters.
Namaste, Master. This is Suresh here from Chennai.
Hello, Sureshji.
Namaste. Thank you so much for the wonderful meditation session. I felt so happy attending this session, and thank you for the team for making this by 9:30. Earlier, it was really difficult by 10:30. Now it's 9:30 is Indian time, very comfortable. Thank you so much for that. And each and every word was like a pearl and diamond, the wisdom sharing. And Yesterday only I read in a quote. It says, when the when the conversation is with kindness and truth, it would really change the world. Now, after hearing this wisdom, it changed many of my perceptions. And the certain wordings like discussing thought, ignoring the thoughts in the mind and calming the mind, mindful analysis, and ignoring the mind chatter. This certain words I just noted, and it's very useful. But only one doubt I have is when we do our work or when we leave, apart from the time when we meditate, yes, we have bundles of thoughts, and busy schedules really helps sometimes. And if I'm not, I mean, if anyone is not busy, then they can do meditation. But sometimes out of these thoughts only, I'm a writer. I write, poems and all I write, and I've written a novel also. Sometimes out of these thoughts only, I get wonderful poems and people appreciate it. And how can I just ignore such thoughts? That's my humble question. Of course, we should have which is good thought and not bad thought. We don't know when it comes. We while ignoring, we may think, okay, sometimes it may be a alarm or alert or caution. Such good thoughts also comes in. So there I have a slight doubt on how to handle it, Master.
So, my understanding is here he's talking about thoughts that actually give us restlessness and discontent, and also triggering, some tendencies in the mind. So, basically, ability to think what is useful instead of and avoiding thoughts that do not help us. So the one that you're mentioning, sir, like you said, like you write novels and some quotes or wisdom, they are very useful. I mean, they do not create more and more thoughts, right? So that's my understanding. Always any thought that does not create more and more thoughts. And he's also saying, if you see towards the end, he says, try to invest your energies in something creative and meaningful. And that's what you've been doing. So those thoughts are good. He's referring to those which do not help us and create that restlessness.
Okay. Suppose if I get thoughts on my disappointments or past life guilt or anything, I think such negative thoughts I can just ignore. And if I get any good vision or good plans and good ideas, that I can receive, isn't it? It's like
Absolutely.
yeah, it's collecting the metal from the earth. If it's gold, yes, we can take it. If it's something else, we can just leave it and go. Something like that. I understand.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Master. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shirishji.
Thank you so much.
Friends, anyone else would like to share your experience or your perspective? Please raise your hand or feel free to unmute. Yes, Swarnaji.
Thank you so much, Swapna. Beautiful meditation, beautiful wisdom sharing. Yeah, each and every word that you said, as Suresh sir mentioned, like it's pearls and diamonds. So to Suresh sir's question, like the thoughts that causes you pain, the guilt or anger or those things, if they are keep on repeating, then it's trying to teach you something. So we need to observe those and see, sometimes even in real life also, so many hurtings, those guilt or whatever is happening in your thoughts, you may come across those situations as well. So those situations you need to see, contemplate, and what you need to learn from those. Once you learn from those, the thoughts will go away. Only you will have very happy moments. So that's one wisdom I wanted to share with you, sir. So yeah, thank you so much, Swapnaji. And
Beautiful. Thank you for adding those points, Swarnaji.
Thank you.
Friends, anyone else?
Swapna
Yes, Indraji. No.
Can I come in, please?
Yes, please.
One thing we should note is sometimes, or quite often, good comes out of bad. The lotus flower comes out of the mud. The severe labor pains brings out the good baby. Sometimes painful thoughts, depressing thoughts can bring out creativity. So, I mean, the end result is what matters. If a thought is bringing out something really good, that should be entertained. Wasteful thoughts, interfering thoughts should be declined. That is what we mean really by emptying the mind, I think. Am I right? Thank you.
Thank you, Indraji. Yes, Ram.
Thanks a lot, Swapna. Very beautiful, very, very beautiful wisdom. Wonderful meditation. And truth is sometimes quite paradoxical. And, the aspect of certain statements here in this wisdom, particularly, we are slaves to thoughts. And how one experiences the illusions of emptiness while we continue to be like the bowl made of this human skull. So we have to, be mindful of the mind's chatter. And I really liked how it is said, the art of not paying attention to mind's chatter.
Yes.
The art of not paying attention.
Yes.
So beautiful. And the two stories, right? The Bhadraghosha and the ascetic story, the hen and egg story. The mullah's very humorous way of sharing the wisdom. And ending with no eggs, no chicks, no attention to mind's chatter. So very beautiful. Stories always take us closer to the truth. Although they are unrealistic, yet they take us more closer to the realities.
Yes,
so
true.
Very, they're unrealistic, but take closer to the reality. So its truth is always quite paradoxical. And yes, we always have to notice how they are being shared. Like Indraji was mentioning, the lotus flower coming from the mud. So we have to as well witness these things, and that is when the lotus comes out of the mud. If we are carried away instead of noticing, then we are becoming slaves. So it is just an aspect of awareness that brings the total change. So very beautiful. Thanks a lot, Swapna.
Thank you, Ram. Thank you for the points. Yes, Mamtaji.
Namaste, Swapnaji.
Namaste.
Namaste, Masters. It was really greatest light, the wisdom, and the always stories get deep into your heart. It was so beautiful. And thank you for all the Masters, the extended wisdom. And I want to share my words. Shall I move on?
Yes, please.
Not every day will go as perfectly as we want. There will be bumps to support our growth and to test our faith. Divine Masters will be there with us in every twist and turn to lift us up. These challenges are part of our spiritual journey. Embrace them with strength and we will prosper. Growing pains are normal even in spiritual growth. Do the best that we can do. Each step is a reminder of how far we have come. So, thank you. These are words. I have written my book. And thank you for all the Masters. Thank you, Universe. Always, Swapnaji, your voice. It's just a healing like that. And it was so beautiful explaining from you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Masters.
Thank you so much, Mamtaji. Beautiful words, as always. Thank you. Thank you, Masters. Anyone else? Yes, Nagendraji, please go on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Swapnaji. Wonderful session, as always. And yeah, the music I wanted to mention was really healing. Was fantastic music. So, and yeah, I was deep in meditation, and coincidentally, I was during meditation. I was observing, first the breath, and then it moved to the brain part, and I saw it expanding like it was so huge, like a big room, my brain. So, and then
Beautiful.
the wisdom sharing was following that, So, and I had like few thoughts. One was about, uh, we want to have many virtues like fearlessness and, things like that. And then a thought came that we should also always try to achieve powerlessness to hurt someone, that is also something. If we can achieve that, that is also a good thing. So it was a really wonderful session today. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Masters, anybody else would like to share your experience or perspective? Thank you all for the messages in the chat. If no one has anything else to share, then I guess we can conclude the session. Gratitude, Masters, for adding your energies to the meditation and being here today. We'll all connect in our evening session. Namaste. Have a good day, all.
Thank you. Thank you, Swapna ji. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.